everybody. I didn't get a new microphone, so my sound's gonna be really bad. I'm sorry. I will get a new one, maybe after this stream. Yahoo! Happy Halloween! Some spooky shit happened today, actually, so I'm really excited to talk about it. Happy Halloween! Do you like my costume? On the website, it said in Japanese, don't buy this costume if you have small boobs. So I was like, perfect, excellent. Yo, hello everybody. I'm so excited for Halloween. Yahoo, Derby. I'm really sorry that I think my mic sucks again. I'm gonna buy a new mic soon, but not maybe today. Maybe I should just buy the same one. I can't. I can't because this is it. This is what my mic does now. I think my cats finally broke it, like straight up. But I will buy a new one tomorrow. Today. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. That was just right before my stream started. There was just this like animal outside my house, and it was screaming, like kind of like, you know, like a fox. Like it sounds like a human. It was screaming like rah, rah, like it was being murdered, and I didn't know what to do because I'm dressed like this. So I went outside to try and see, but as soon as I went outside, the screaming stopped. So I don't know. Yeah, hi Meg, thank you. Yahoo, happy Halloween. What is everyone doing for Halloween? I'm actually going to a party tomorrow. Yeah, and so I'm gonna wear this outfit again. And yeah, I'm gonna just go to my friend's DJing, so I said I would go support her, and it's gonna be really casual. Yeah, my Yahoo. Sorry, my mic sucks. I'm gonna get a new one today. Yeah. Yeah, there was like an animal screaming outside my house, and I went to investigate, and I don't know what it was. It sounds super sketch. Darmi, arigato! Happy Halloween! Yay! I have a bunch of ghost stories to tell you guys. I'm really excited. Mayuri said, I head to Tokyo this weekend. Job fair in Akiba. Oh, yeah! There is, I've never went, but they always invite me to the job fair. I always consider going. Meg said, murder mystery game for Halloween. That's actually really sick. I've always wanted to do one of those. I'm actually kind of a scaredy cat, so maybe that would scare me. Or like those escape rooms, I think I would actually have a panic attack. I think I would just lay down on the floor and just pass away. Happy Halloween! But yeah, it's weird because like there was no trick-or-treaters really in Japan. But in England, that I think it's even still a thing. That's one thing I kind of miss, because I used to like just staying home, and then people would come to my house and I would just give them candy. It was really nice. Gaijin pot. Yeah, what kind of job are you looking for? I've been like thinking what to do with my job, because at my company, after 4 years, they fire you. So like I'm already looking for a new job. But I'm doing so many things right now. I had to today. I did something incredible. I started to learn Blender, and I pretty much all the things I wanted to do, I got them done in about 3 hours. Blender's always been really scary to me because I do like 3D stuff, right? But before I used 3ds Max, and now I'm using Nomad, and Nomad is really easy. I've been holding little classes for people that want to learn Nomad, and I've done 2 so far for 2 different people, and it's going really well. And my plan is I want to make a little art collective for women in Tokyo, and we're just going to make art and maybe do gallery shows and stuff. But the thing I wanted to do, the collection that I'm going to release for ACDC Rag, the renders that I sent them were too small to be printed, and it seems like Nomad cannot render something that big. And this is my fucking horror story, because I spent hours on this. Like, I'm talking like between 50 and 100 hours. It was a lot of hours, so I was freaking out. So the only thing I could do is learn Blender and import my models into Blender. It doesn't really go really well because they're different softwares, and I have to relearn how to like texture everything and add materials and stuff like that. So I did that today in 3 hours, and I did a pretty good job. So hopefully we can get this shit done because I'm so tired of this. Yeah, it could be Musasabi if you're close to nature. I am close to nature, actually. I thought it was a Hakubishin. Normally it's a Hakubishin around here. I think in English it's called like a civet. Palm civet. They're quite large. They're like this big. I actually posted a video on my Instagram. They're these kind of like, I don't know, I think they're like, it's not quite a badger, not quite a fox. I think they're rodents, but they also just scream. Yeah. So I was so stressed about this because if I don't, you know, like all the renders I had and everything I made for this collection, it's too small, like we can't print it. So I didn't know what to do, and I was so freaking out this morning. I just wasn't paying attention. There's a lot of things stressing me right now, and I slipped on the stairs and I almost died. It honestly, it hurt so bad. I still can't really walk properly, and yeah, I bruised my leg. I can't really see it, but I bruised my leg and cut it open pretty badly, and I hurt my hip and my back, and it didn't hurt that badly initially, but now it really, really hurts. So I will be drinking tomorrow on Halloween. I decided. There is so much I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was gonna make a video tomorrow about the YouTuber fight. I don't know if you call it a fight, but between Chris Board, like abroad in Japan, and Oriental Pearl. It's really interesting, and I've been really keeping up with it, and I have a lot of opinions about it, and I wanted to listen to you guys' opinions on the matter before I make the video. Crikey, be careful. Yeah, it sucks. I'm dyspraxic, so like it happens, but also I wasn't paying attention, and where I live, my stairs are really steep, and I was wearing these like slippery socks. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the abroad in Japan and Oriental Pearl drama. There's been a bunch of videos that they made back and forth. It's been really, really interesting. Did you see Chris Bro's community post? I didn't. What was it? Because yeah, I plan on making a video as quickly as I can. I've been a little bit busy, but maybe the start of next week or maybe this weekend, I want to make a video about it. I just watched Oriental Pearl's new video. Emily said, was the one on Ice and had to do a double take. I thought I'd seen you. I was not. I did go out for sushi though, and it was wonderful. But unfortunately, man, I wish I was in one on today. Epsom salt bath and a long lay down. Ooh, Epsom salt. That's what my mom used to tell me to do. Eliza said, it was a little long, but he said he's been a little stressed, but felt good to see people agree with him because he felt crazy a little bit. Sangdi said, thought Chris's video was very good. I also heard him talk about it on another guy's stream, and it was obvious he'd been very stressed about making the video. Sounded depressed. By the way, guys, I mentioned this before, but my mic is broken. I'm going to buy a new one today, so the sound sucks. I'm very sorry. Definitely check out his page community post for his thoughts. I feel really bad because a lot of the comments were people like, Chris, why are you starting a fight? Like, you should just leave it, like, blah, 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 blah. But, like, what he's trying to say is so important that, like, social media in general, but particularly YouTube, is just slop now. It's literally just any sensationalist video. And it has to, like, appeal to, like, the basic instincts of a human. So it's either, like, makes you really angry or makes you horny, or has to be like something really extreme, and that's why a lot of them are like this. Like the ones about my issue with the ones that Oriental Pearl makes is like, is Japan cooked? Japan is going downhill, blah 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 blah. Even though she's not explicitly saying this, she knows that the kind of audience this attracts is people who are racist and people that are going to blame foreigners and people are going to blame immigrants. I've talked about this before, how like online, you can make so much money if you appeal to this kind of like rhetoric. Like if you appeal to like the right-wing conspiratory like red pill community, you can make so much money. And like honestly, if I decided tomorrow to become like a nationalist Jiminto mouthpiece and just be like, yeah, Japanese first, Japan first, Japan for the Japanese. We need to like, we should like stop letting in foreigners. Blah blah blah. I would get so popular, and that's what a lot of people do because it makes a lot of money. Yo, clickbait garbage. Sancti said he made a good point. It's much bigger than Pearl or any individual creator. It's about the problem of these videos rewarded by the algorithm. Exactly that. It's like Pearl did take this very personally, and I understand why she would, because like the original video did mention her. But when you watched his video, he actually talked about, yeah, mostly like the algorithm, how it rewards this kind of behavior. And so I think what he said, when you're a YouTuber and you make this kind of like content that is gonna trigger a fight, it is a very big risk. Like, you could end your whole career. Like, Chris could literally end his whole career with this if the majority of people were like, why are you attacking that poor small creator, why are you doing this, like, she's so nice, blah 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 blah, and people went after him. It could really mess up his career. So it was a risk, but I think it really did pay off. I said, is your Discord group still available? Yeah, it is. Can someone put a link, or I can try and put a link? So yeah, I'm very interested in this right now because it's like, they call it the enshittification of social media. Social media now in general is just completely unusable. Like, Facebook is probably the worst of the spectrum. Facebook is completely like AI slop, like weird, like a lot of weird posts, and a lot of them are, it doesn't look like initially, but it is the kind of thing that is meant to trigger like a racist response. Like, look how how clean Japan keeps these areas, like blah 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 blah. We're talking about immigration, but not being very direct about it because they know that they'll get such a large response. And yeah, the algorithm is rewarding this. It's hard because it is the algorithm, and it is also just like human nature. Like, it's the same, you know, with tabloids. Like, tabloids go for like sensationalist, really direct headlines, and because they know that that's what people are gonna read. But then, you know, eventually tabloids, people did stop reading them, and people started to get really annoyed with them because tabloids are just bad for society. Okay, let's see if I can just drop this link here. Yo, there we go. Emily said, I'm from Australia and in Tokyo right now. Yeah, you got to meet Jessie. I met a couple of Australian people recently. That's nice. I hope you're having a really nice time. Yeah, the weather is perfect right now too. Facebook is dead, in my opinion. It was the first to go. Sancti said, so many boomers responding to AI perv bait. Hello, old man. Am I pretty? Yeah, it's so funny. Hi, Wesker. Hi, Japan, man. Facebook mostly for locals and marketing. Yeah, the problem is like, social media is just like a tool. Like, the company that runs social media platforms, they get their money from ads. So at the end, much like capitalism, the end of it, the end stage is just, it's gonna be just about making money in ads. And that's what Facebook is. It's just a load of those like meme pages because those people make money. And that's why most of the content is not authentic. It's not the people that originally made the content. It's just people like stealing memes and like resharing them and putting like weird captions. And AI slop. I think there is a little bit less crazy AI back. I think it was like the start of this year or like the end of last year. There was some crazy shit. Do you remember all the like Jesus, the shrimp Jesuses? There was all these shrimp Jesuses, and like all these boomers underneath commenting amen. And then there was like the little African kids who were making sculptures out of glass bottles. That was like a thing. Now it's like a little bit less weird, but that's almost worse because it's becoming more believable. And like, yeah, as Sancti mentioned, there's a lot of like these pages where it's like an AI image of a woman, or like an image has been stolen of a woman. And there's a bunch of these pages, and they're called like Japan Friends, or like white men for Japanese women, and there's all these people posting fake pictures of women, and it's just like really like attractive Japanese women, or like even Asian women. A lot of them aren't even Japanese, in their like 20s, and then we're like, I want to make a sincere friend, and all the comments are like a man like, hey baby, I want to kiss you. It's insane. Like society is society is so cooked. Nia Yahoo! Darby said they're putting ads onto the iOS map app. Yeah, I did get a notification saying that Google Maps is gonna have ads now. Can you imagine? You're at the end of your rope, your phone's dying, you're trying to get somewhere, and then it gives you an ad for something when you're trying to find out where you're going. Insane. Yeah, so spooky, so scary. Yeah. I'll tell some spooky stories later. Sankey said they always take it too far, so it's too many ads, and the platform is ruined in the end. Yeah, here's the thing about capitalism that is what is failing right now. So not just capitalism, but like society in general. Like back in the day when we were medieval peasants, the king is like, okay, I have a bunch of money and power, and the peasants are working the fields, but I need to make sure the peasants are just happy enough so they don't revolt. The majority of the time of what the monarchy was discussing is, 1, war with France, 2, stop the peasants from revolting. And I think this is what's messed up now, is that the peasants are gonna revolt. They took it too far. They took all our grain and they took all our gold, and we're not happy. It's like, we would be happy with a certain degree of everything being sucky, but I think it's just the pendulum has swung too far in one direction. Like everything genuinely sucks now, and they need to do something about it, or the peasants will revolt. Wait, iOS or Google? I got one for Google Maps. Okay, yahoo! 90 said, oh my god, the weirdest actually, now they do like an AI woman in her 60s with a woman in her 20s, both in revealing clothes and the weird captions. Look, who looks better, me or my daughter? It's amazing how effective this junk is. That's insane. I haven't seen that, but like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I remember like there was always that old woman, and it's like, I'm 100 years old and I made my birthday cake all by myself, and the birthday cake is like the numbers all fucked out because AI, and it's like, it was always like, I made my birthday cake with peaches and cream. Social media has been cancelled. Yeah, let's just get rid of social media. I'm over it. It's a shame because like that's where I made most of the people, like my friends, particularly in Japan. Social media is very important because you don't really, it's not like England where if you wanted to make friends, you would just go to the pub and you would just like just make friends at the pub. But you can't do that in Japan. Like you need social media. That's the annoying thing. It's like I'm trying to make friends and the whole of my feed on Instagram is just weird cat videos. Galaxy, yahoo! Meg said, really appreciate your content and the things you talk about on stream. It's great to see someone show that being cute, liking goody things doesn't always mean you're not so intelligent and politically aware. Oh, that's so nice. I'm very stupid though. Literally, I did fall down the stairs today. I also think that politics shouldn't just be reserved for people who are very intelligent. Politics is for everyone. Like generally, politics are for everyone. Like it affects literally everyone. And this is another way that they try to control us, is that they make politics very, very, very complicated. So the majority of people are just like, fuck it, it's too hard, I don't care. And because everyone's working 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 and we're really, really exhausted, most people don't have time to even look into what's happening to see how fucked up everything is. And that's how like a lot of like really messed up laws get passed, because people are just too tired, or it's like a little bit too complicated. Like the American political system is so complicated. Like I still don't really get it. Nia said, Oban, is your knee okay? It's really messed up. It's gonna be hard for me to go out tomorrow. I have to go out tomorrow. It's Halloween. I'm gonna party. I don't care. But it's like really like bruised and swollen. I also messed up my back and my hip. Yeah, everything just hurts right now. But maybe I'll feel better. Hopefully tomorrow. The Arab Spring was a huge eye-opener for these companies. Please explain. David said, yeah, base, but the internet has many trolls now. I mean, it's the dead internet theory. A lot of time when I'm communicating on Twitter, a lot of the comments, I'm like, no way, this is a real person. And a lot of the time it's not. Like, there are just lots of bots. So that's something you have to think about too, is that a lot of time you're not even communicating with humans about stuff, which is terrifying actually. And I think it's only gonna get worse. I saw something on the news. It was like they raided like some kind of office building in some country, and they arrested a bunch of people, and the people had like hundreds of thousands of like bot accounts that were just like saying shit on the internet. And you know what that shit's gonna be. It's gonna be like, immigrants are bad, gay people are bad, blah 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 blah. So it's like this is really dangerous. Like, I really think that more should be done about like astroturfing and how it's controlling the narrative. I think that it should be really, really illegal if you are doing it to change public opinion, particularly like about politics. I think that should be really, really illegal. Galaxy said ice injury for 30 minutes, then heating pad for another 30. Oh, I didn't actually put any ice on it yet. I did it just as I was about to head out, and so I just didn't do anything. I put a little band-aid on it, and yeah, it was funny because I just did my makeup, so I was like, I will not cry. But I did want to cry. It fucking will hurt. My said, oh, Kitty, hi. My said, dude, I keep seeing AI art on the train, and man, does it make me feel sick. And once again, guys, my microphone sucks today. I'm gonna buy a new one soon. Sorry, like, in general, like, the audio sucks. In Japan, people do not care about, like, those kind of, like, moral-ish issues, like NFTs, AI, like, stuff like that. In general, people don't care about it as much in Japan, which is a problem. Like, almost no one really cares about AI stuff in Japan. Kitty said, you look so cute. Oh my god, thank you! I didn't really... I'm gonna wear this again tomorrow and, like, do my makeup, put my color in, and just make it, like, much cuter. I'm excited. Tomorrow I got these angel wings that are, like, robotic and they flap. So I'm gonna do an unboxing and try to figure out how to use those. And then, yeah, I'm gonna try to go to a Halloween party and see what's poppin' in Tokyo for Halloween. Alisa said, people love AI here. They super do. It's sad because even in Shibuya 109, there's a lot of AI commercials. And, like, even some Japanese artists that I follow are using AI for stuff, and that's sad. And, like, you know the, like, J fashion pages, like Jedi Fashion, Tenchi Kaiwai, blah, 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 blah. Those pages all use AI. And, like, there's this, like, every, like, week there's a new trend. Like, it was the, like, elevator trend where it makes you, like, stand in an elevator and you look cute. There's, like, a snow trend where it looks like you have snow on you. There was a mermaid one. They're always posting this. Like, they do not care. And it's sad because particularly, like, J fashion, a lot of it is, like, the act of dressing up and taking the picture, getting the lighting, even like even in Meitu, it's kind of the art of choosing the filter and stuff like that. So that's, I mean, to just put your face into AI and be like, make it look like I'm snowboarding is just so lazy. Kitty said, I love that. I'll be back in Tokyo next week. Yay! Is it pretty cold yet? It isn't, actually. I think it's like light jacket weather. The evenings can be a little bit cold, but in my experience in Japan, and this has happened for 10 years, the first part of October is hot, the middle part is nice, and on actual Halloween, it will be freezing. I don't know why. Every actual Halloween I've ever spent in Japan has been freezing. So I know tomorrow is going to be cold as balls. The Scream AI pics. Yes, exactly. That's another one. It's a shame because they look quite cool, but it's just like so lazy. I don't know. Your mic is popping in and out. Yeah, my mic sucks. I don't know what happened exactly. I'm sorry. I will buy a new one after the stream. I will purchase one. I was just too lazy to like pick out a new one, or maybe I can just buy this one again. This one did last me like 3 years actually. Bring an umbrella. Oh man, it's not raining tomorrow, is it? Oh man, I don't even have an umbrella. My umbrella was stolen at the konbini, and I didn't tell anyone because you know people are gonna be like racist either to Japanese people or to foreigners. Like, so like I'm like whatever. Magdacat, yoho! There's been a lot of shirts with AI generated pictures in stores in Europe. No, I feel that's gonna happen in Japan soon for sure. Yeah, that's really annoying. I'm really sad. It's you know, the internet has regressed so quickly. I blame Meta. When Meta bought Instagram, everything just went fucking downhill. Instagram is almost unusable, and a lot of creators, and myself included, we get like maybe a quarter of the engagement that we used to. Like, I've never received so little engagement on my post, and it's really sad. Like, I don't do it for the engagement, but I also don't want to be posting shit if like no one sees it. Kitty said, it makes sense that people don't care about AI in Japan, but kind of wild considering the amount of talent found in Tokyo. Yeah, that's the weird part, is like people in Japan are like, there's so many artistic, fashionable people. You don't think, you don't think they'd want to use AI, but a lot of them do, like artists and people into fashion, like they don't mind using it. I'm not sure why. Like, the same thing happened with like crypto and NFTs. People didn't really care that much. It's weird. Like, yeah, it's people here in general don't really care about politics, actually, and that does fall under it, I guess, which is really sad. Actually, we had this conversation last night, actually, me and Sancti, that the people who really care about politics in Japan are old people, like old ass people. We're talking about people in their 70s and 80s, and that's because those people really felt the backlash of World War II and like Hiroshima and nuclear weapons and stuff like that. So those people are very, very anti-war, and those people are like, it's good because they'll be the ones that are like protesting and supporting Palestine and stuff like that. But the people who are younger, like people who are 30s, 40s, 50s even, those people don't really care about politics, mostly because like Japan has had one ruling party for the longest time, and people in general just work too much to care about it. So I think when the older people die out, it's going to be kind of scary. Even like Shinzo Abe was trying to change the constitution so that they could have like a proper army and not just like a defense force. And now Takaichi-san, she's trying to do the same thing. So like, and there won't be as much pushback because the older people who did really feel the effects of World War II, they're not going to be here anymore. Talent isn't just in Tokyo. Yeah, we got talent in Nagoya. Darby said, IG kicks my butt all the time. Yeah, it really doesn't matter like what kind of field, what kind of thing you're posting on Instagram, unless it's like those cat videos where the cats are dancing, no one's gonna see it. It's sad. Instagram used to, like, the image of Instagram used to be like really like fashionable people, and now it's all like just memes and stuff, and people don't really care unless like for fashion you have to post videos now, and I just don't really like posting videos because it takes twice as long and the quality is not as good. I always find like for some reason that like the videos just kind of look like shit. So yeah, I'm just sad. We had a good run though. Isa said they also had neighborhood community groups for politics. My grandparents were in one. We aren't a community anymore. That's also true. It is. This is something I wanted to talk about actually. So people always like, Japan is so clean, blah blah blah. It's like, yes. Do you know why? There's not like a particular cleaning service that goes around and cleans. They have actually something like that in France. These guys go around on motorbikes with like a freeze gun, and they freeze like dog poo and they collect it, which is great. Japan is not like that. The reason is that everyone keeps their community clean, and like I live in a community with like really old people. They will go out in the morning. They'll make sure there's like no dead leaves around their house. They go and check the trash and make sure the crows haven't gotten into it. If the crows do, they think of like new solutions. Like they'll get like, first it was like the net, and then now everything's in like these metal cages. And they'll just like make sure that everything around their house is good. My neighbor actually did come to my house the other day, and she's like, your garden's looking a bit messy. Do you need some help? And I'm like, oh, like I didn't realize, but I'll try to keep on top of that. It's because people want to keep their own community nice. Because I really like the phrase, you know, when they say like the grass is greener. What is it? The grass is always greener on the other side, but where you water it, it will be the greenest. So like if everyone just make sure their own pocket of their community is nice, everywhere will be nice. And I think that's why Japan's so clean and nice, because people really do care about their community. But again, it is mostly old people. Like I think that's also gonna die out, and that's really, really sad. Yeah, Joshu, yahoo! Glitch, hey, my microphone's messed up because I don't know, so I'm gonna buy one today. So sorry that the audio sucks. We were again talking about politics. I wanted to tell a spooky story. Does anyone have any spooky stories? I have a couple. There was a fox screaming outside my house earlier, and that was kind of creepy. Falling down the stairs today was also kind of creepy. But in general, like, it's funny because the politics in the whole world are kind of messed up right now, but the internet's also messed up. It's just like the internet is such a good mirror of society. Although it's kind of like, I don't know, the internet is kind of like society on crack, because the internet, when you're reading tweets, it's always like the loudest, craziest people. So that's also something to think about, is like, sometimes when I'm looking at social media, it does feel really bleak, because you'll see a lot of like messed up stuff, but then you have to understand that these people are genuinely like the most ignorant people are sometimes the loudest. My spooky story is that I live in Texas. I love Texas. I went to the airport and I had a good time. I like the South, actually. Pretty damn spooky. I have a spooky ghost winter story. Go ahead. George said, the grass always looks greener when you don't have to do the watering yourself. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so true. I think you can apply that for like so many things. People don't understand that like everything is effort. And the people always complain online, or like, Japan's so clean, it's because they don't have foreigners, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, how often do you yourself go out and clean and go pick up the trash or feed the homeless? Like you're complaining that other people aren't doing this for you. Why don't you fucking go do it? You'd hate Texas. You're way too smart and aware for it. Honestly, I have a lot of friends from Texas, and they're all quite smart and aware. I think it's just like anywhere. Like my hometown in England wasn't great, but at least you guys have Walmart and Buc-ee's and Sam's Club. That was great. I would trade that, honestly. It's rage fuel every day. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think a lot of it is just they don't fund education enough in those places, and that's really, really sad. Like, I think education could help a lot of things. There's a problem in England too, is that people are quite uneducated. Like, why were we never taught about like what taxes are and how we do them? Like, I've never been told that. I had to do that myself. But we have you know what, I'll stop. No, wait, what do you have? George said, best comment from my friends, normal people don't post. Oh my god, that's true. I'm not normal and I post all the time. I posted about Gagged yesterday on Twitter, and I got like 3,500 likes, and I'm like, guys, please stop. Gagged is in the Illuminati. He's in the Illuminati with Yoshiki. They're gonna come for me. They'll kill me, like, straight up. Buc-ee's can live. Oh, Buc-ee's is so good. I think that Americans don't know how good you have it. In England, we don't have anything big like that. We don't have these giant delicious places. And in England, everything closes at 5:30. Like, you guys have it pretty good compared to England. England is sometimes like the trenches. I love that we're all in agreement that Bucky's is great. Okay, let's read Glitch's story. So one time back when I was in Portland, Oregon, I took my dog out at 1 a.m. to go potty. It was freshly snowed and like 6 inches to a foot of snow in any given spot. I saw a guy walking along and I went to say hi to him, but when I looked up, he was gone. No footprints. And I realized I never heard him crunching in the snow like I was doing. Ooh, that is a spooky story. I think that not all ghosts and spirits are evil. I think. Back in the day when I didn't realize that sleep paralysis was sleep paralysis, I always thought that it was a ghost, but not a bad one, because I always got visited by the Hat Man. Before I knew what the Hat Man was, when I was a kid, the Hat Man used to always visit me, and it didn't feel like a bad or benevolent feeling. Sometimes when you have sleep paralysis, you'll wake up in like the most pure form of terror. But when I saw the Hat Man, it was a very neutral feeling, like it wasn't good or bad. So I think that there are sometimes not bad ghosts, and I think the one you're describing, he wasn't a bad ghost. Darby said, I've heard similar for dating marriage. If you don't water the flowers, they won't bloom. That's so true. I think that's a big problem with dating nowadays, is that people just want a quick fix. They want to just like meet someone who's perfect, and they don't want to put in any work. They don't want to sacrifice any time. They don't want to give up their hobbies. They don't want to meet the person's friends or family. They just want to meet someone and have that person slot into their life. And I think it's nowadays people's lives are so complex. It's very hard for people to mesh unless you both agree that you'll both put the work in. You'll both sacrifice time, blah, 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 blah. Dating also means that you're going to have to hang out with their fuck-ass friends that you don't like sometimes, or you're going to have to see their family and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people are just not, they just don't want to do that. Like, a lot of being in a relationship isn't fun. Alyssa said, ooh, gak, ooh, yoshiki. They give the major ick. Yeah, I think it's like, when I tweeted that, a lot of people... Okay, so the tweet was about... Gact has been kind of nationalist for a while. Like, I think it was like last year, or the start of this year, he tweeted that he thinks that Japan should return to isolation. Like, back in Sakoku, when, like in the 1600s, when Japan didn't let anyone in, like any foreigners, for trade or to live or anything. No tourism, nothing. So he's like... oh, maybe we should do that to like retain our culture. And that is like so racist. It's unbelievable. A lot of people say it's not racist because I don't know, people are really weird. When Japanese people say wild stuff, generally people are like, oh, they didn't mean it like that, but he totally did. Anyways, that was before. Now he's like, oh, I really support Takaichi-san, the new prime minister. And the new prime minister is quite fascist. And he's like, yeah, this will be like a new era for Japan. And people are like, okay, this is pretty racist. And I tweeted, if he cared about Japan, he would live in Japan and pay his taxes. But he lives in fucking Malaysia. He moved to Malaysia to avoid taxes in Japan, because Japanese taxes are quite high. Particularly if you do have a lot of money, is quite high. So yeah, so clearly, then this is a man saying that he thinks that they should close their borders. It's like, you don't even live here. Kitty said, who is the Hat Man? Oh, okay, so if you get sleep paralysis, and it's weird because like some people just never get it. A common figure is the Hat Man, and it's just kind of like a shadowy figure wearing a hat. And it's like a phenomena. If you Google it, so many people have seen the Hat Man, and it's like the same guy. And the funny thing is that so many people see the Hat Man when they're taking Benadryl. So if you don't get sleep paralysis, but you want to see the Hat Man, you can take Benadryl, and you might see him. Joshi said, is this is this the guy that's Okinawan? I don't know actually. I'm not sure. My said sometimes the trenches. That's being generous. I look back of my memories of England, and I'm like think of them quite fondly, but it was the trenches. There are nice places, but I think like anywhere, it depends on if you have money or not. Like I think any country is nice if you have money, and England has a lot of poverty, a lot of poverty, and a lot of places do not have money and are not nice. Alaska said, speaking of gardens, I was really struggling to find a neighborhood with any in Tokyo. The closest I got was around Gotokuji Temple, but those houses also looked more fancy. In general, Japan doesn't have like a lot of gardens or parks around my area, and you'll find this most places. There's not like grass. There's not like areas with grass. There will be these parks for kids, and the floor is like gravel. And near my house, I think I have 2 small ones, which are just like, they have like concrete floor with gravel on top, and then some benches and like some swings, and that's it. So like, that's a bad thing about living here. There are some parks, but yeah, if you want to go to the park, you have to go to like Yoyogi or something, unfortunately. Glitch said he wasn't scary or spooky either. He was just suddenly not there. It was a street below the hill I was on, and then I realized he wasn't human. That's scary. But yeah, at least it wasn't bad. I think if there are spirits, they're not all bad, no. I think. I mean, if you think about it, the majority of people aren't bad. So, like, the majority of ghosts aren't bad. Like, there'll be a couple of bad ghosts, maybe. My said, not a spooky story per se, but I had a nightmare that shook me to my core even after I woke up. It was a dream where people's faces contorted into nightmare fuel. The kind of stuff you'd see in a psychological horror. And the worst part is that it looked equally uncanny and yet so fucking real. It was horrible. It took me a few hours to get over it. Yeah, maybe that was partially sleep paralysis. I've had sleep paralysis so much that I don't get paralyzed anymore, but sometimes my dream blends into the real world. Like, I'll wake up and whatever is in my dream will be in my room. Like, if it's a big spider in my dream, there'll be a big spider in my room that's still there. And so maybe part of that was that you had sleep paralysis, because for some reason it makes you, like, your brain generate, like, the chemical that makes you so terrified. It's like so scary. As said, your US vlogs with Human Tree is one of my favorite videos to ever exist. Oh my god, thank you. That makes me so happy. That was such a weird experience. It was so great. And we were pretty drunk, like, for the most of those videos. The people in the South sure do drink, let me tell you. We were having, like, Bloody Marys and, like, mojitos. What's it called? The orange juice and champagne. Yeah, we were having those, like, for breakfast, and I don't remember a whole lot about the US, but it was nice, actually. It was great. Glitch said, bro, I remember friending my potential boyfriend's friends and even drawing a PNG YouTuber for one of them on the tube. Aw, I hope that you get there. Is it still the chef guy? I remember you said you were talking to a chef guy. Darby said, even in my tiny city, many people don't have gardens. Yeah, no, straight up. There's not that many gardens around here. My house is like a tiny garden, but it's just like rocks. Glitch said, I have seen the Hat Man before. Yeah, it's a common thing. Galaxy said, I have a spooky story, but my internet is slow at the moment. We will wait for your spooky story. The Hat Man sounds terrifying at first encounter. Yeah, it was not scary for me, but it was for my parents, because the first time I saw him, I was a kid, and I just started screaming, and my dad came in the room, and he's like, what? And I'm like, he was just there, the man with the hat. And my dad's like, what? And I'm like, there was a man with a hat at the end of my bed. And my dad always got kind of creeped out by my sleep paralysis. I think he didn't know what it was, and it just freaked him out, and he was like, oh. Mimosa! That's it. You guys are so smart. I was like, not margarita, mimosa. Yeah, we were drinking tons of those. And it was like very hot. Remember we went on Yumichi's boat, her uncle's boat, and we were very drunk. And I was driving a boat while I was drunk, which is probably a crime. But that was wonderful. But it was so hot, and I think the heat combined with the alcohol just made me start to like hallucinate. My said, oh fuck, I hate it when it lingers. My, don't go to bed yet. I guess tomorrow is a work day for you, huh? Georgia said, like, I think I saw a quote tweet of some famous Japanese guy being racist, and the reply was like, you were born in Okinawa, it was independent during Sakoku. Maybe it was him. Is Gag from Okinawa? Let's Google it. I thought he was from Saitama. Because he was in that movie, Tonde Saitama. Where is Gags from? He kind of looks Okinawan. He is Okinawan! Joshi, you're right. Oh my god. Why is he even talking about Sakoku then? What a fucking loser. If you mean public gardens, have you tried Rikugian? No, I haven't. I normally go to Shinjuku Gyoen, and it really does feel like Central Park because it's my favorite park. It costs 500 yen to get in, but it's worth it. Because like you see all the big buildings around you, but the park itself is large enough to still be like quite tranquil, and they have grass for you to sit on. It's really, really nice. Alaska said, I guess what I mean is there aren't even trees as part of the city's planning. This was my only shock because nature in Japan is amazing, but in the cities there's barely a tree. Even in like the countryside, there's not that many parks or like grass to sit on. Like that's one good thing about England is like on your lunch break you would get a sandwich and you'd go to a park and just sit on the grass, but you can't really do that here. I remember I went to see the sakura in, where was it? I think it was like in Ofuna. It was like somewhere like where there's lots of sakura, and we went there, but there was nowhere to sit. It was all like on mountains. Like there wasn't any grass or anything. We couldn't have a picnic. It was very bizarre, and like there wasn't any grass that we could sit on. My mind said the man with the hat, the one from Curious George. Honestly, it was the same kind of hat as the one from Curious George. Maybe it is him. Glitch said, nah, it's World of Man's friends, but I'm still friends with Chef Man. Oh, funny story that. I was doing a movie night with Chef Guy, and my friend Neon and his ex, who hasn't moved out, was mad. He was talking to me. Your love life is far more interesting than mine. I love it. Especially with the history of Japan fucking over Ryukyu constantly. That even continues into today. That's so true. Like, Okinawa is like, a lot of the time they're like, we don't want to be associated with Japan. Neon said, I had a nightmare once that I was in a library and this clear worm parasite thing hopped out of one of the books and into my arm, and I was supposed to read a certain amount of books to get rid of it. There's definitely a meaning there. You need to ask someone what that means, because that means something. It kind of reminds me of Baldur's Gate 3, when the parasite goes in your eye at the start. Is there any haunted places in Japan that you know of? So sometimes I watch like people who go to abandoned places. Like it's normally just Japanese YouTubers, and they'll go to abandoned places and film, and they've seen some freaky stuff. I think Japan has a lot of haunted places. There's a lot of like shrines that have been abandoned that are quite haunted. If you look online, you might be able to find some. Go for like the Japanese ones. There's one guy in particular, I'll see if I can find it, but like he goes to some places, he's seen some shit, let me tell you. Once when I lived in a more countryside place, I was with my ex-boyfriend when we were still together, and we went under an underpass at night, like a really, really long one, and then in my ear I heard like a ghostly person say, I don't know, it's like a noise, like and I got freaked out and I ran, and my boyfriend heard it too, and he ran too. And when we got back home, he asked me what I heard, and I told him. He told me what he heard. And the weird thing is that I heard a man's voice, but he heard a woman's voice. And it was really freaky. And there wasn't anyone around, and there was not anyone on top of the bridge. We went under a bridge, and there was no one on top. It was very freaky. And I could almost like feel the breath on my ear. So Japan just be ghostly, like. Shinjuku Gyoen is worth every penny for real. Yeah, Shinjuku Gyoen is the best. I really recommend anyone to go there. Okay, said it really confuses me how Latin American Okinawan people look like. Oh yeah, Okinawan people do look very Latin American. They're quite, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. That is interesting. It's near Komagome Station in the Yamanote Loop. Oh, I never really go to Komagome. I always wonder what's there. Maimei said, you're right, Bun. Love life is interesting. So my high school friend mailed me on Facebook after I replied back to him, and he's like not really into like Japanese stuff, but he mailed me and he's like, do you know something called Uma Musume? I'm like, oh god, no, they got you. Maimai said, sorry, but I hear my bear calling and she's a fickle mistress. Oh, Maimai, also me, good luck at work tomorrow. Do your best. Have a fun Halloween lesson. Love you. Joshi said, low-key Okinawa and Ainu relationship with Japan are like the Gaelic country's relationship with England. That's so true. I think that, like, Japan's PR team is so good. The fact that people forget about the Ainu, what they did to people in UQ, and in general, the stuff that they've done overseas. Like, I don't even want to talk about it because if you mention this online, you'll get, like, so many nationalistic trolls. You have to be really, 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 really careful. Like, I wouldn't recommend speaking about this online. And it's like, wow, yeah, Japan's PR team did really good because, like, literally the rest of the world kind of just, like, forgot. I remember your older vlog and you went into a tunnel or something. Yeah, it was a tunnel. It was terrifying. It really freaked me out. I was worried when I moved to this old Japanese house that there would be like some ghostly entity here, but I haven't felt anything, and I've been here for like 2 years. So I think here is fine. It's just like a lot of creepy wild animals. Ooh, Darby mentioned somewhere that's really freaky in France. Where I lived in Essex, down the road from me, there was the manor which what's her name? Anne Boleyn used to live there, and so many staff said they saw Anne Boleyn's ghost without a head because Henry VIII got her head cut off, so you would see her ghost running around the halls without a head. That was pretty sick. Yay, my oh yes, me. Just said, I used to go for walks in this park at night that had a forest in the middle with no streetlights. It used to be like a test of bravery to see if I could calmly walk through it without freaking out. You're so cute. That's so cute. What other creepy stuff happened? Joshi said, every time I walk through, I get the sense that I'm being watched. But so long as you don't look back and acknowledge the things watching me, I'd be okay. Yeah, that's like that one episode of JoJo's where they had to walk down the street and not look back, but then they did look back and then they got trapped there, and like you're supposed to get trapped there forever. Yeah, Anne Boleyn's ghost, man. I talked about this before in another video, but I went to Nagano during like super snowy season, like it was like up to your waist in snow, for a photo shoot, and I met these two guys. Like, I could have got murdered. It's actually really stupid. So these guys picked me up in their car and we drove to like abandoned buildings to take pictures. They paid me. It was good, and they were really nice actually. But so we went to this abandoned like holiday home. There's tons in Japan because people bought these places during the bubble and then they're just abandoned now. And so we went there and was taking pictures, and we went, you can just like go in the rooms, right? We went in one room and it's like covered in dust everywhere, and like it looks almost like people just got up and left because there was like still like cans laying around, like old food. It kind of reminded me of Chernobyl. And then they were just taking pictures of it, not of me. And then I opened the bedroom, and then there was like a bed, and it had a white sheet, and the white sheet looked fresh, and under the sheet there was a body. And it didn't look like someone that was alive or someone that was sleeping. It was a body, and the thing is like the body was like this, like spread out. And I was just staring at it for a while. It was so strange. It was definitely a body. And like the photographer, a Japanese guy, grabbed my shoulder and just said, "Let's get out of here." And then we left. And then we didn't talk about it till we got in the car, and we just drove and we went to get lunch because we were like, okay, fuck this. And then I went home back to Tokyo, and then the next day they mailed me that they went back there because they were like, okay, we need to go check that place out. Like, what if it was someone that needed our help? And we went back, they went back there, and the room had gone. Like, they couldn't find the room. And it was like a place that had like maybe like 20 different rooms, and they couldn't find the room with the dead bodies. So I don't know, man. Maybe it was a ghost. Glitch said, oh yeah, my other spooky story. I used to live next to forest trails, and one time I heard foxes at 1 a.m. I didn't know it was foxes at first. Foxes sound like humans screaming. It's like they're getting attacked. Foxes are really scary. Yay, hearts, man. Hearts. I need to be careful. I nearly, I went to spam the hearts. I almost blocked Josh. Sorry, Josh. I'm such a boomer. Stop. Derbyshire is definitely full of ghosts. I believe it. I believe it. Actually. I feel like the UK is just full of ghosts in general. It said, oh my god, a body. Yeah, I think it was maybe a dead body. I feel like it might have just been like someone died and people who, like their family didn't want to deal with the funeral costs. So they kind of just left it and they just abandoned the place. Terrifying. Just said, it's okay, I won't be offended. No, Joshua, we're not gonna block you. Don't be silly. But yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow's Halloween party. It's gonna be really, really chill. It's not gonna be like a big deal. There's also like, in this house, there's not like ghosts or anything, but there are like squirrels that get into the walls to like hide their nuts. So sometimes you'll hear like scratching in the wall in the middle of the night. That's creepy. That part is creepy. Now that I've been living in like an old Japanese house by myself, I got pretty brave, I think. Like, I think, yeah, this has made me much stronger. And I think after this, I've seen it all, man. I have another spooky story for you that's not actually scary. It's just another shitty dating story. So I forgot, that's the thing I wanted to tell you guys. Americans will be like, oh my god, someone died in this house. It must be haunted. But in the UK, it's like, wait, nobody died in your house yet? Newbie. For real, though. As I mentioned before, the UK is the literal trenches. I don't know, like, my house in England was built in 1905, so I imagine quite a lot of people died in there, actually. In my house, it's just one person will be in costume. Is that person you? I want to see your costume. Actually, yesterday, my cousin mailed me and told me that my uncle died. And the creepy thing is that I swear he died like 5 years ago. I thought he was already dead, so I had to like act shocked, like, oh, I'm so sorry, like blah blah blah. But I legitimately thought he was already dead. So yeah. Oh my god, where Glitch said, oh my god, where I live, we have huge squirrels sometimes, and they are loud. Yeah, some crazy animals. You guys saw the lizard that was in my room. That was pretty wild. Okay, let me tell you my spooky dating story I had the other day. So I matched with someone on like some dating app, and we were supposed to we talked for like 2 days, like really in depth, and they were really, really keen. They just moved to Japan and they were pretty fresh on the scene, I guess. And we were talking a lot about 3D printing and art and stuff like that. I showed my work to them and they're really, really keen. We agreed to meet up today. Actually, we were supposed to meet up today. And we were talking a lot, and then at one point, he said, yeah, I want to explore Japan a lot. You can be my little tour guide. He. For people living in Japan, we really don't like to be referred to as tour guides because so many people mail me and ask me to tour guide for them for free. And I said, only if you pay me. Ha 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 ha. And then suddenly, he got really weird. And he was like, what do you mean? I would never pay for a date. Blah, 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 blah. Women these days, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, because it's weird because like his profile said that he was liberal, but this seemed very strange. And I was like, oh no, I mean that like in Japan, if you're a long-time resident, people often ask you to be like a tour guide, and it makes us feel kind of uncomfortable and icky. So it's kind of like a joke. Like genuinely, I've never had a date where the guy's giving me money, so like it's kind of not like that. And I thought my explanation would calm him down, but he was like, here I am looking for a long-term relationship, and women just want to abuse me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, bruh, you've been like, if I was a gold digger, I would be gold digging like for people to buy my rent for like yachts. Like what are you talking about? And also, if I was a gold digger, I would be using like Rhea, or like I would be going after men who are in their 50s, men with good jobs. I'm like, he was like 3 or 4 years younger than me. I'm like, you are younger than me, and you've been in Japan for 5 minutes. I am 100% sure I earn more money than you, so I don't know what this is about. And then he got really offended. And then I said, this is actually kind of scaring me, so I think that we just are not a good match. And then I unmatched him. And that was the spooky thing that happened this week. I think it happened like yesterday. Yeah, we were supposed to go on a date today, which is hilarious. Nia said, I'm going to dress up as a creepy little girl with a smile carved into her face for Halloween. That's going to be terrifying. I can't wait to see it. When I went shopping today, and I was in like a fashion store, and I saw 2 Japanese girls in their normal clothes, but they had really good makeup. Like their face was cut up. It looked so good. Galaxy said, hey CB, the text is too long. If I post it to the Discord, will you still read it? Yeah, if you post it to the Discord and let me know what place, I can read it from the Discord. Oki said, I have nice photos from yesterday, but I won't get more on Halloween. I want to see your pictures. Did you post them in the Discord? Kitty said, my girlfriend and I are dressing up as Hyunjin and Bangchan from Stray Kids. Oh my god, that's so good. You need a Felix. Let me be your Felix. Oki said liberal. Oh, the funny thing about this guy is, on this app, you can put like causes you support, like equality. He put fucking feminism as something he supports. We're not safe, I'm telling you. Everyone's fucking lying on these apps. It was insane. I feel like I would shrink and start thinking if I could afford paying or not. Kitty said, dating in today's world, the actual spooky story. Now, nothing scares me than being on dating apps. Jesus Christ. Katie said, you look so beautiful, starting to lie from the start, but I'll catch up eventually. I was an alien for Halloween with my boyfriend because fuck ice. Oh my god. You know, at the ice protests, or like the No Kings protests, they have those giant inflatable frog costumes. They're kind of sold out online right now because they're so popular. They sell them at fucking Don Quixote. I just found it. I'm like, I kind of want to get one. And I think because we do have the No Kings protest here, so I might see if I can get it for that. Also, again, I mentioned before, but sorry, my audio sucks. It's because my microphone's just fucked. I think my cat's been licking the part where my mouth goes, so like, it's just fucked, but I'm gonna get a new one. You can 100% be our Felix. Oh my god, I love Felix. Felix is incredible. General, okay, yes, I will check it. Let me know when you post it and I'll read it out. No, Alien is such... Do you remember when people went to break into Area 51 and everyone's like, clap those aliens' cheeks? What a simpler time that was. Remember when that was the most exciting thing that happened in the news? It was like people storming Area 51. Now it's like this. All this now. Yes, Latina power. Oh my god, you guys are gonna be so sexy. Icon. Okay, said I sent you 3 of them on DMs. I was trying out dresses, so don't show them here though. Yay! I want to see. I'm excited. I'll check it after, I promise. I'm in Japan right now, but the message still comes through. I love it. We did have a No Kings protest here last week. I couldn't go because it was in my working hours, which is unfortunate, but it looked really sick. I'm trying to change my days off because like I miss all the like fun protests and stuff. Japan has a lot of protests actually. Tokyo's been kind of killing it, and Osaka actually. Let's see if Galaxy posted their spooky story. Spooky, spooky skeletons. General. Not yet. If you guys haven't joined the Discord... Oh, wait, here it is. I'll put the Discord link in a sec. Oh, I knocked off my cinnamon roll. Okay. Galaxy said, here's a spooky story. In college, I interned with the U.S. Park Service and worked at very old army fort. The building I worked in was an old troop barracks. The first floor was part museum and the office for the rangers. The upstairs was an unused bunk room. One day I was done with my work early and had to wait 30 minutes for my ride, so I made the bad decision to explore. I had been in a museum before, but never upstairs, so I headed up there and was surprised to find that the hall was perfectly straight line running the length of the building with rooms every 20 feet. It gave me the feeling of a hall of mirrors. The moment I left the stairs landing, I had the feeling that someone was behind me. When I turned around I saw nothing, but then immediately I had the feeling there was someone there in the other direction. I also had the feeling that if I went either side of the hall, I'd get lost. Freaked out, I left the second floor and waited for my ride outside. A week later, military reenactors stayed at the fort for an event, and they slept on the second floor. One of the guys told me that they had trouble sleeping at night because they heard people walking in the hall at night, but there was no one there. I never went upstairs again. Too freaky. Sorry for the length. Oh, that actually, I think like an army barracks would be a really haunted and creepy place. What you're describing really does sound like a liminal space. Or like a glitch in the Matrix. Back in the day on Reddit, I was really into the glitch in the Matrix subreddit. It's so interesting, like a lot of the glitches that happen. So maybe that could fall into that. That's very, very interesting. It's kind of like spooky in a different way. I somehow feel like that kind of spookiness is almost scarier than like an actual ghost. But Kneecap's coming to Japan. Yay! I love it. Veronica said, what do you think about NASA? That's such an interesting question. Honestly, I've always thought that like we should sort out the problems we have on Earth before we start fucking around in space. But satellites do help us get internet and shit like that and like monitor the weather. So I guess NASA is good. It just feels like now a lot of space stuff is turning in is just really capitalistic. It's like they're all trying to like mine asteroids and the moon for like rare earths and shit. It's getting a bit capitalistic. Also, we went to the moon and there was fuck all there, so it wasn't made of cheese like Wallace and Gromit told me. So I'm a bit disappointed that it wasn't made of cheese. Oh my god. The fort dated back to colonial times and was the last used for troops during the fight during World War II. That's insane. Yeah, I bet it's definitely haunted. I think a lot of this stuff is all connected. Veronica said, agreed. I feel like the interest in space has died down a little with the current climate as well from the public. I think it was so funny. I'm really into like aliens and like UAPs, and whenever they have the UAP hearings, I always watch them. And it was so funny that I think it was 2 years ago or last year, maybe even 2 years ago, there was that point where like, I think it was during Biden's term, so maybe it was last year, that there was like these like drones or like air balloons or something, unidentified objects or UAPs that were like all over the US, and the government was sending fighter planes to shoot them down. And this is like a really big deal. But no one cared. Like, no one gave a fuck. And that's because we're so tired. Like, society has made us so tired. And it's happened again recently. This last couple of months, an airport in Sweden closed down because there were unidentified, like, drones in the area. And another one around Denmark, yeah, also closed down because of drones. So, like, it's happening quite a lot. But yeah, the interest in space travel in general, now it's just all capitalism. Like, it's all like mining rare minerals. And that's something I notice a lot because I do work in the news. I have to read so many articles a day. I really pick up on like these kind of patterns. A lot of like trade that is going on and a lot of space exploration is to do with these like rare minerals or rare earths. Suddenly out of nowhere, this is just seems like it's got really, really important for like the innovation of countries. Like they're all trying to like get these rare earths. I guess it's to like to make computer chips and stuff like that. We need to explore the hollow earth first. Yeah, what's down there? Like, seriously, we don't even know anything about the fucking ocean. There's shit down there that like I don't even want to know about. And yeah, I think just digging in the earth, you will find some fucked up shit for sure. I think just like let's not explore this shit, like in general. Like I don't want to know. The moon isn't made of cheese, says America. Funny how many cheeseburgers and grilled cheeses there started to be after the 1970s. They landed on the moon and they harvested the cheese to make their fucking hot dogs. Bastards. Veronica said, exactly, Alisa, we don't even have photographic evidence of Earth's nucleus existence, and like 80% of our planet hasn't even been discovered yet. This is getting very conspiratory. I'm super conspiratory, okay, because I'm really into UAPs, right? And this is all connected. Oh my god, I'm gonna get out like the board with like the strings. So, I believe that aliens and UAPs and shit like that, I think it's more interdimensional. And the funny thing is, when this shit was really hyping up about the UAPs, the fucking Vatican came out and said that it has something to do with religion. And I know they always say that because they want everything to do with religion, but like a lot of it is like, I think there is something there, like with angels and I don't know. I think there's something there. I don't know what it is yet, but there is something there. And I think it's why, you know, when anyone tries to get any footage of like a UAP, it always looks crazy. Like it's always blurry and it never looks good. I think it's because a lot of the shit that happens is on like a different dimensional plane to us and that we can't exactly perceive it. This is getting fucking conspiratory. And like, actually the story that, Galaxy just told about the barracks really reminded me of and the UAP hearing, the one I saw a couple of times ago, because they have them all the time right now. They have them like once every year, once every 2 years, I think. There was one, and like this is a hearing in the American government by the people that are talking are like people who are higher ups in the army, like generals. One of them said that they found a UAP or like a UFO, and he went there, or like someone went there. I think he was reporting on behalf of someone else, and they found it. No, I think it was actually he saw it. Yeah, so they went there, and it was a giant, like it was like a UFO, right? I think it was like maybe 30 feet around. It wasn't that big. Anyways, he said that he or someone else went inside, and when they went inside it, inside was the size of like 50 football pitches. Like inside it was huge. And then they're like, but there was nothing in there. And then when they came outside, 2 hours had passed. For them it only felt like a short time, but when they come out, a much longer time had passed. So it seems like it's on a different plane of like time and space. And then maybe that thing that Galaxy went into, that liminal space, is kind of like that. Like maybe like the dimensional planes were kind of like misaligned. I think about this all the time. Let me know if I'm being crazy. Doctor Who, yes, that's what it reminded me of, the TARDIS. Oh my god, if my Maya was here, he would get really excited about this. I wish I knew about the No Kings protest next time. I think they have them quite a lot in Japan now. Evangelion is real. Well, yeah, like a lot of things in modern media are taken from this kind of shit. Like there's this like a lot of talk of Steven Spielberg actually did see a real alien, and that's what inspired him to make E.T. And like the E.T. is kind of like looks like a real alien. Like this is what people are saying. I don't know. It does seem kind of cray. Veronica said, it reminds me of people not making sense of buses being as wide as cars inside. Oh my god, that's so funny. Have you seen the Alex Jones compilation where he starts ranting about religious aliens and it's basically the plot of Eva? Oh my god. I hate that like Alex Jones is so funny. Like if he wasn't like promoting so much fucking hatred, and like he could genuinely be really funny. Like if he just like stopped talking about politics, but just if he just made his shit like fucking aliens or something, it would be very entertaining to watch. It's just a shame that like that's not what makes money. Maybe you can wrap your knee for Halloween and add fake blood so you can both support the knee healing and looking cool. Yeah, I'm at least it's gonna look really Halloweeny. I think it's like bruising pretty bad now. I'll take a picture of it later and I'll put it in the Discord, but it's pretty purple. But yeah, I'm really into like learning about aliens and UAPs and stuff, and I'm always in the UAP subreddit. It's so funny because there's like now it's UAP, which is the more acceptable scientific term, but there was a r/aliens Reddit subreddit, and it was so funny because there'll be people who put like actual like military classified documents, and they're like, okay, I've been documenting sightings of Idaho, here are the separate things, blah 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 blah. And the next post is like someone that's like, hi, I had a dream that I had sex with an alien. It was like the difference in quality was so funny. I really enjoyed it. Galaxy said, now that you mention it, when I went outside, I was surprised how fast my ride showed up. I thought it was at least 20 minutes. Wait. Yeah, I'm telling you. I think there is something there with like dimensional, like the planes of dimensions, and that's why a lot of the shit that we can't really perceive. I also think it's like right before you die and your brain is flooded with like DMT, you see angels and stuff. I'm telling you, this shit's all connected. Like I don't know how, I'm not smart enough, but someone smarter than me, I should look into this. I'm telling you. It's War Thunder all over again. No, straight up. The amount of times that games Discord had military secrets leaked on it. That's so funny. Yeah, I forget which game it was. It was like maybe like, I don't know if it was like Tanks. World of Tanks, I think. And then the people in the Discord kept talking about like actual military classified stuff. That's so funny. I'm sorry. That's really funny. Veronica said, I mean, it actually totally makes sense on scientific level as well, I think. Like, light years don't make sense, but they do. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's just, like, in general, that we're such, like, a new species, like humans. We really don't fucking know anything. And so I think that comprehending space and time is just not something that we can probably do for a long time, if ever. It's funny because like at one of the UAP hearings, and again this is like actual like military people talking, they said that the military was in contact with like an alien, and the alien, and that's how like the whole point of this program and the whole point of these UAP hearings is that apparently the government had been going to these kind of like crash sites, getting the UAP, and then reverse engineering the technology, which kind of makes sense because like technology is just incredibly progressing, and a lot of it kind of come out of nowhere. So that again, I think it's so funny that it's always like capitalism. Like the end goal of this was just capitalism. But at one point they said, and this is true, the guy said this in fucking this is the Supreme Court or whatever. He said, that they were in contact with an alien. He didn't say if it was like impersonal, like whatever. And he said that, like what is going on, like why are you guys here, blah 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 blah. And the aliens said that they are waiting for humans to progress enough so that they can tell us the secrets of the universe, or like we can figure out ourselves, but we're not there yet. And they said that like they're not willing to like work with us close enough or closer unless humanity reaches a point where we can start to be able to understand these things. And I think that like in general, maybe humans would never understand exactly. Like I think that like if Darby, arigato. Yes, but humans are also smart as fuck as well. No, straight up. I think that humans. Oh wow, arigato. Yay, happy Halloween. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I think that maybe we're smarter than they give us credit for. It's also like we are simultaneously very smart and like very dumb. Like we have like making computer chips, and how fast. I think we grew up in like such a good generation for this. Like growing up and going from like my first computer I got, it was because I was poor, but my computer was one of those that had like the black screen and the green writing. And like now progressed to like having fucking iPads is such a large leap in such a short amount of time. So when humans really, really focus, they can do incredible things. But then we have like constant fucking war and like people hoarding resources. So a lot of us aren't that smart. My dad really did believe in reverse engineering of like UFO stuff because my dad was born in 1948, right after around the time that Roswell happened. And he said like when he was a kid, they still had like gas lamps and shit, but then Roswell happened, and he said suddenly like everything started progressing really quickly, and then like my dad couldn't really not understand like a fucking iPhone. He's like, this is intense. He's like, this has to be something alien. Let me heart Darby. Oh. Wait, there's something. I'm such a boomer. There's something in the way. Bro was a hacker as a kid. Yes. They were posting documents to win arguments. That's so funny. Yeah, was it Warframe maybe the game was? That's so funny. Veronica said, that's so interesting. Have you seen the clip of RuPaul saying that after the first time he did acid, he saw reality for what it actually was, as in lifting the veil, which he's always had suspicions about. That's so interesting. So my friend recently did acids, and they told me the same thing, that they really started to like realize a lot of things about the universe. We talked a little bit, oh my god, this is getting so conspiratorial. We talked a lot about Gnosticism. Gnosticism is like, it's like a philosophy thing, and it's kind of like religious too. And like Evangelion is based off of Gnosticism, I guess, and it appears a lot in media. Gnosticism is basically the belief that there isn't a God, or like God left, or God abandoned us, and the thing that made the earth is actually an angel, but like it was like a malicious one. And that's why we have so much like pain and like hunger and poverty, is because the thing that created us doesn't really love us. And apparently in this belief, every human has part of God, like the actual God inside of us. But that's why the angel was so jealous, and that's why the angel just, I guess, left us to our own devices and left us in a world that's like so awful. And these kind of themes appear a lot. And again, Evangelion is supposed to be really inspired by Gnosticism. It also really reminds me of Scientology. Scientology, it's like the alien, I think his name's Xenu, and then everyone has a piece of Xenu in them, or like some toxic alien stuff. It's kind of like that. So I think also Scientology is based off of Gnosticism. If you look this up, it's very, very interesting. But yeah, my friends started talking to me about this after they did acid. Pause in creative work if you want a little liminal space spooky horror-ish story. Oh, okay, I'll go check that out. Moore's Law. Meg said, truly a blessing that social media only really took off when I was a teenager. I wasn't an influencer. Oh my god, I think about this so much. I would have definitely made, when I was in high school, I would have definitely made a stupid TikTok and everyone would have bullied me. I'm so glad. When I was in high school, we had like MySpace and it was already really toxic. Like you had to like rank your friends and stuff like that. It was already not good. And that was like the basic level of just like commenting on people's pictures. I cannot imagine see me in high school and having to deal with like Twitter. Galaxy said, just as long as they're not creepy greys. There's also the theory that greys, the grey aliens, are just humans from way in the future, which kind of makes sense. Like their skin's grey because they never got outside. Their fingers are long because we're always pushing like buttons. Their eyes are big because we're always watching screens. And we don't have any need for like hair or clothes. So it is a possibility. I'm not smart. Talks about Gnosticism. I'm not smart. I saw it in a YouTube video. I'm just recounting you guys a YouTube video. But I do find this really interesting. Like biblical iconography and stuff like that. If you guys ever want to talk about the Bible, I'm so into it. Deism. Yes, also that. Glitch said, never did acid, but shrooms. I think you can have a similar experience, yeah. I won't say it was good or bad. To be honest, I only ever had one experience. Don't mix it with tequila and weed. Oh my god. PSA, not to mix substances. Yeah, for straight up. I will say I've never done a single drug in my life, so, and I intend on keeping it that way. However, acid does intrigue me because people do take it and they do say it does open their mind in some respect. There is book smart, street smart, and universe smart. I'm Chica smart. Let's Play smart or Evangelion fan. Oh my god, straight up. When someone talking about this, it's like, are they really into philosophy or do they just really fucking like Evangelion? There's that meme that I posted on Twitter of that Japanese woman and she's like, yeah, I liked Evangelion so much that I read the Bible. I love the creator of Evangelion. He's like, yeah, people are like, oh, there's so much like biblical iconography. Like, what does this mean? And he's like, oh, actually, I thought it sounded cool. That's why I put it in there. I don't know what that is. Maybe the guy who made Evangelion did actually take acid because he did actually start to go proper insane at the end. And that's why the end of Evangelion, like the anime, is just like so surreal and unhinged. I'm so glad when I was in school, YouTube was for stop motion animation. Yeah, when I was in high school, it was just like silly home videos and stuff. Darby said, Franklin believed in a master clockmaker who created us and then left us to our own devices. That makes sense, actually. Actually, Jimmy Carter, the former president, he went into like a meeting with like the generals in charge of Area 51 and they told him that aliens exist, and there are accounts from tons of people who were there that he came out and he started crying because people believe that it made him not believe in God anymore because if there's aliens, like, and you would probably cry if people told you that aliens were real. Zenga. Infinitely more peaceful and creatively fulfilling. I think it's gone full circle that now people are still watching like I watch all those dancing cat videos. But you have to be careful with YouTube as well, is that sometimes I'll put on like there'll be like an interesting like murder mystery thing and I'll put it on. I don't really like scary stuff, but I'll put it on and then it will keep auto playing and then it will eventually get more and more fucked up. And now I was watching a video because when I'm working, hours and hours go by and I'm just like, whatever plays on YouTube, like plays the next thing. It was this video about this man in Russia who was going to the graveyard and digging up children's corpses and bringing them home and making clothes for him, because he always wanted to be a dad but he never did, and his house was just full of like children's corpses. And I was like, how did I get like this? Like my YouTube algorithm, like, and then like all my recommended videos were just all this like sick shit. So like you have to be really careful at curating your own internet experience with the algorithm, because if you search for one messed up thing, that's it, your algorithm's fucked. Like whenever Yumichi comes to my house and watches my TV, the next week it's all fucking K-pop and N-hyphen videos. I had that in high school. You should play El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron. Oh, I think I've seen that. I've never played it, but I have seen it. Glitch said, like, I have had several shroom experiences, but one time I was dumb and did a bad one. I will never do that mistake again. Yeah, that's always the risk. That's what scares me. My biggest fear is, and same with, what is it? Not astral projecting, but close. What is it when you can control your dream? I knew someone that could do that. My fear of taking shrooms or like being able to control your dreams is that time moves so differently. You could be trapped in a prison of your own mind for like 50 years when out, like same as like the alien thing I was telling you about. And then for other people it'd feel like 2 minutes, but you could be trapped in your brain for like 50 years with like nothing. That's always been my biggest fear, and that's why I would never do anything like that. Sangdi said, digging up children's corpses. You said that so cheerfully. I mean, it was kind of sweet. Like, he wasn't doing anything weird to them. He was just making them clothes. I thought the story was kind of sweet. Maybe I messed up, but actually I was like, there could be worse shit that he's done, you know? Like, he was just making them clothes. There's worse guys out there, honestly. This is what I mean. If you're on dating apps for too long, you eventually start being like, he's not that bad. He just dug up a few children. Galaxy said, wow, that's fucked up. And the funny thing is like, I don't even know what you're referring to, because this is all kind of messed up. This is a Halloween stream, so it has to be creepy, guys. Mimi Chidio said, how realistic is finding work in Japan without a degree? Honestly, not very realistic. I'll be real with you. But there are people I know that do work here and don't have degrees, so it's not impossible. I would recommend possibly being a language school student for like 2 years here, or you could get married to a Japanese person. Like, but in general, they're making immigration restrictions tighter, so it might be difficult. But I do know people here that don't have degrees and are here, so like it's not impossible. If you are a student, you can be like a language student for 2 years and live here for 2 years without a degree, but then it's like very expensive, obviously. Meg said, it's kind of like how I didn't want to believe in ghosts when my mental health was very bad, because then I would prefer to be one. Oh my god, that is dark. No, but seriously, I really get that. That's a good though. It will make you not want to do that. Because like, if ghosts are real, I think that you would have a higher chance of becoming a ghost if you did take your own life. So now I think about it, that would make me never want to do that, because I could end up as a ghost. I love that. That's great. Sangi said, possible but very hard to find somewhere to sponsor a visa. It is very, very hard. Companies these days really don't want to sponsor visas, even for people that do have degrees. Lucid dreaming! Galaxy, you're so smart. Thank you. Yeah, lucid dreaming. That's always been my fear. In university, I knew someone that did lucid dreaming a lot, and I always considered it. I can lucid dream to a point, because I had sleep paralysis so much, I had to become hyper aware, so when it starts, I know what's happening. But lucid dreaming is amazing because it's kind of like Minecraft. Like, you can be God in your own brain. Like, you wouldn't need your body. People like float around in their dream and like build stuff. They can summon people. They can be everywhere at the same time. Isn't that insane? If you are someone that can lucid dream, well, you can become God. honestly, I've always hoped that that's what death would be like lucid dreaming. I think that like my theory is that when I think it's like our soul, this has been my really fucked up theory that I've had, right? Is that I think that we're kind of like jars that make experiences and memories. And so maybe you'll live a life and you'll collect so much data, because I think in general, like people and brains and space and science and religion is all kind of like a big computer, right? So you'll come to a point where you have, this is your soul, and then you'll get halfway maybe, and then you'll die, and then I think you'll be reincarnated as like something else, and then it'll keep going and going and going. You'll keep reliving until your jar is full, and then I think then you can pass on. And then I think that being dead is like lucid dreaming. Like it's like a white space, you know, you always see that white light. I've always imagined it that you would spawn in a white space with nothing, and then it would be kind of like a video game, and then every single person you've ever met, every single building you've ever seen, everything is all stored as data, and then you can kind of like make your own world. That's always been what I think is gonna happen when you die. And that's kind of creepy. It's spooky. Living Android got it. Lucid dreaming. Aside from being unhygienic, it would be inviting some crazy demons from Slavic folklore to keep corpses in your house. Yeah, that's a good point actually. I think keeping corpses in your house. My main thing is that it would stink. But secondly, yeah, probably if there are ghosts, they would definitely like to be in your house if there were a bunch of corpses in your house. Oh, you guys are so smart. You guys all got it. Alki said, finding work is a true horror. Oh my god. The scariest thing? Employment. Taxes, for sure. That, for me, is the scary. I think that, like, nothing is scarier than the society we are living in now. And that's part of Gnosticism. Gnosticism is, like, we are living in essentially a prison. And that's scary. That's also a theory for aliens. Because I'm really into, like, the idea of aliens. People have, like, a bunch of theories, and one of them is that we are living on a prison planet. So we are held here by other aliens, and we're kind of like a zoo or something. And like maybe people's souls who are bad are like sent here or some shit. That is fucking terrifying. I'm really into like researching this kind of stuff, but it is also very scary. Veronica said, exactly. I think life is about collecting experiences, and in every reincarnation, you experience reality from a different POV and in the body of a different minority. It's like climbing a ladder, but opposite. That's a really good way of saying it. Like, this is how I've always thought life would be. I think it is literally about collecting data. And it's kind of nice because that means that, like, every soul is different, and then every kind of, like, final resting place is different. So I think that's why there's so much of like finding your soulmate is so important. It's maybe even not necessarily one person, but it's like someone that you want to carry with you to the afterlife. Like, so when you do make it, eventually you might be able to just bring them back because it's just data, right? Abraxas is Gnosticism, right? I'm not sure. Glitch said, okay, finish my little description of the dream. I wrote it at the end part of my dream, like it was a story. Did you put it in did you put it in general? I'll check it in a second. Downwards until you are complete on a soul level with the least amount of material attachment. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Maybe you can't progress unless you do, like, learn things about the human experience. Like, I generally think that people who are like billionaires that have tons and tons of stuff and they're just like exploiting people, I don't think that those people will be able to pass on in this lifetime. Like, probably it would take a few lifetimes for them to really understand the human experience. I don't know why. This is really dark too. This is really, really fucking dark. But I've always felt kind of tired. Like, and I think that, I don't know if it's like, I wouldn't consider myself to be a particularly depressed person, but I always felt like my soul is tired. Like, even now, I just feel so tired all the time. And it's not like a physical tiredness. Not, sometimes it can be mental, but it feels very spiritual. It definitely does feel like, I really think that, like, it feels like I'm carrying the weight of like previous lives, and that I think that if my theory is true, that I'm on the last one. Like, I think I'm really nearing the end, and it's kind of exciting. I think about this a lot. But yeah, fucking holy shit, I'm tired. I think at this point I've seen it all. Glitch said, not scary, but the ghost of my cat visits me sometimes, after he passed. A day or so later, he visited in my dream. He was young and vibrant and full of life again. We were outside in a field of flowers. And young again, Shadow showed me how free he was, that he wasn't in pain anymore. He was free. It's in creative. Oh my god, that's so nice. Creative. Let me go check it. Honestly, I think that's really, really wonderful. If you're going to see ghosts, then that's a good ghost to see. Creative work. Okay, here we go. By the way, Glitch, you're a really good writer. Have you considered being an author? I know you spend a lot of time at home, so you could technically, like, self-publish something. Okay, let me have some juice for this. Darby said, "Oh, you'd like the film The Man from Earth." That sounds exactly what I would like. Okay. Galaxy Janakta, Glitch said, she mentions Galaxy in this is why. Glitch said, "So I have liminal space dreams a lot. Sometimes I dream that I'm in a combination of several of the houses I have lived in, but they have so many rooms and multiple basements and stories. It's always a winding big house where I have my bedroom and parents have theirs, along with many other strange rooms. Like, imagine a hallway on either side, or a living room, and each hallway goes someplace very strange and not human. You are traveling in a larger, morphing and changing house. Sometimes the rooms randomly change or move. In one such dream, I had a house with huge, winding, deep staircase down to haunted catacombs full of evil presence. Imagine stairs that turn at 90-degree angles, but the stairs are like many stories of stairs all the way down to a very dark, barely lit basement. Light with dark purple flame torches and red glowing emergency lights with a looming background roar, almost like listening to the ocean and ghosts whispering quietly. And it got louder and louder the further you go down, until you reach a dark, deep red door that leads to hell. That once you open it, it cannot close. The presence could escape and coat the rest of the house above, but you have to enter it so you could defeat the presence and not hear it whispering under your home anymore. The dream ends as I am entering the door to hell, but I could write the rest later." Ooh. I will describe what I saw as I entered it in story form. We get off at the bottom landing. It's me and several others in a party on our way to defeat him, it, or whatever he was. It was gloomy and dark. The air was stale and thin. It smelled rank, like yesterday's newspapers soaked in water and left to rot. The door was a normal door, seemingly nothing obvious if you just glanced at it, but it held a large golden knob, and the door was deep burnt red. It could have been any door in any house, except for the feeling it gave you. It made your skin crawl, like it was alive. The door shocks me as I approach it, warning me of the dangers. As I grip the knob, the door screams in my hand and shocks me even further, but I pull it open all the same. A purple glowing miasma starts to spill out and coat everything. A smell like something old and rotten, and we step in. And suddenly the world behind us fades away and we are in a misty dark maze. No way out until we defeat him. Oh, that's such a sick dream. I really think you should be a writer. You're really good at writings. That was so good. I need to head out now, but thanks for streaming. Happy Halloween. Yay, happy Halloween! It's gonna almost be Halloween in 30 minutes. Glitch said, I might self-publish stories again someday. I think you should. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, Queen Bunny. I think that, like, almost all the people I get on very well with are very similar to me. They all feel like very tired souls. Like, I've always been through a lot. Like, I'll meet someone and they seem almost unseasoned. Like, they don't have enough of substance to them. I think maybe they were just like, they haven't collected enough data. I'm gonna write about my theory of death, because I really think I'm onto something here. That and aliens being interdimensional beings, I love it. I like that this was supposed to be like a spooky Halloween stream, and it got so like conspiratory. Happy Halloween! Good job, guys. Honestly, I think this was such a great stream. So I haven't had dinner yet. I bought myself a little steak that was on sale at the supermarket, so I'm gonna make a little steak, and then I'm gonna continue working on my work for ACDC Rag. I'm still learning Blender. Thank you guys so much for coming to my stream, and I hope you guys have a nice Halloween. Please check out my Halloween pictures tomorrow. Yay. Heavy is the head that wears the bunny ears. Josh is also really good at writing. Philosophy or conspiracy? I think he has a mix of both. I had such a good time. Thank you so much, guys. Happy Halloween. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the Discord. Yeah, it's me. Bye-bye. It's me.